If you're using tea bags to brew your tea, you're really missing out. In this video, we're going to compare tea bags versus loose leaf tea and take a look at 5 advantages loose leaf tea has over tea bags. So first, let's start with a brief history of tea bags. Contrary to popular belief, tea was consumed in loose leaf form for virtually all of its history. It's only in the last 100 years or so that the tea bag was even used. The most likely theory states that it was developed as an accident. The American tea merchant named Thomas Sullivan portioned out tea into single-use packets in 1908, and a customer mistakenly dipped the whole pouch into hot water. This became the first tea bag. Larger companies began to take notice of this quicker way to prepare a cup of tea, and soon producing tea inside bags became the norm. Producing tea in tea bags also meant that lower quality tea leaves could be used, and they could be mass-produced for convenience-sensitive consumers. So this brings us to the first advantage that loose leaf tea has over tea bags. The best teas in the world are all created for loose leaf consumption. Here, the producers select the best quality leaves and carefully produce them in small batches. With some batches, a tea farmer will even have a specific taste profile they're trying to capture, and they'll work meticulously to perfect the perfect flavor balance. Every step from the growing, to the processing, to the blending is done to improve the flavor of the tea. The consumers of loose leaf tea are much more sensitive to quality and less sensitive to convenience. For this reason, there's a great disparity between the flavors of loose leaf tea versus tea bags. Tea bags, on the other hand, contain much lower quality leaves than loose leaf tea. In order to get large tea leaves into a tea bag, they have to be broken down, and therefore they're going to lose a lot of their essential oils, which are responsible for the complex flavors and aromas of a tea. A producer making high-quality tea for a premium market would never waste the leaves in a tea bag, so all of the best teas in the world are made for loose leaf consumption. Tea bags are often made from the leftover leaves from the tea production process. They can be made from later harvests with less nutrients or contain older leaves, stems, and other plant material. The flavor of loose leaf tea versus tea bags couldn't be more different, with the tea bags having a flat and bitter flavor and loose leaf green tea having a sweet and complex assortment of flavors. So that was just one advantage of loose leaf tea over tea bags. If you're enjoying this video so far, just know that it's only a small excerpt of our tea book, Secrets of Japanese Green Tea. This book contains 100 pages on all the wisdom we've learned during our travels around Japan. If you want to get the book for free, just click the link in the description and we'll send you a free copy. Now let's talk about standardization versus variety. In addition to getting better quality tea, you'll also get more variety when you choose loose leaf versus tea bag tea. Tea bags are mass-produced by just a handful of large companies. Because the quantity being produced is so large, there are only a few different options. When you look at the grocery store, you'll mostly see generic green tea bags. If you really want to explore different varieties within green tea, you'll have to go for loose leaf. Otherwise, you're just getting the cheapest green tea stuffed into a bag. Once you make the switch to loose leaf tea, you now have access to thousands of small tea farms all around the world. These farmers produce tea in very small quantities, and the taste is one of a kind. The subtlety and nuance you get from small batch teas is impossible to find in mass-produced tea bags. Next, let's talk about the health benefits. So it was recently found that 11.6 billion microplastics and 3.1 billion nanoplastics can be released in a single cup of tea when you use a tea bag. These microplastics are released when the hot water interacts with the chemicals in the tea bag. When you drink a cup of tea from a tea bag, you're drinking a very small amount of plastic, but even though the quantity is limited, it still adds up over time. On first glance, paper tea bags may seem like they're the least bad alternative, but this can be misleading. The reason for this is because the paper tea bags are usually treated with a type of bleach to make them white. This bleaching process uses chemicals like chlorine dioxide, which can be dangerous. Although this trick is used to make the tea bags look clean and pure, the opposite is actually true. And don't even get us started on the glue they use to stick the tea bags together. This is not something you want to be drinking. We still have 2 more topics to get to, but if you're liking this video so far, it would really mean a lot to us if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay tuned for future tea videos. Now let's talk about the environmental impact of tea bags. The material inside the tea bags aren't just bad for the flavor and the health benefits, they're also bad for the environment as well. Another reason you should not drink tea bags is that they can be an environmental disaster. It's estimated that in Great Britain alone, there are 100 million cups of tea drunk every day, with 96% of that being tea bags. That's as many as 35 billion tea bags being thrown out every year. This is not just paper, but in many cases it contains harmful plastics, metal from the staples, and string. Just keep in mind that a lot of tea bags are also individually wrapped, creating even more material waste. A good way to reduce all this extra waste is just to switch to loose leaf tea. Loose leaf tea is far more efficient in terms of packaging, and when you're done with the tea, you can actually compost the leaves in the soil. This leads to a huge improvement in the sustainability of loose leaf tea versus tea bags. So finally, a tea bag is not a good way to brew green tea. Tea leaves need plenty of space to open up fully and release their flavor into the water. When the leaves are crammed inside a tea bag, they don't have enough space to open up, and this is one of the many reasons why tea bags produce lower quality tea compared to loose leaf. You may be wondering, why can't you just have a tea bag made from high quality leaves? This is the reason why. Even if you were to put high quality tea leaves into a tea bag, it's still not the best container to prepare them. What you want to do is take loose leaf tea and brew it in a teapot that has a built-in strainer, like this Q-Suit teapot. Okay, fine, we'll give you one more reason why you should be drinking loose leaf tea over tea bags, and that actually has to do with the cost. I know you might be thinking that tea bags are a cheaper option, but they are actually more expensive than you might think. For example, a cheaper loose leaf tea like Bancha can be $9 for 100 grams, whereas tea bags can cost around 20 cents for 2 grams of actual tea. Bancha can be used 5 to 6 times without losing its flavor, whereas a tea bag will lose its flavor after one brewing. This means that you can get 100 or more cups of good quality tea out of that $9 pack of Bancha. As a result, the cost of loose leaf tea versus tea bags is quite similar. If you want to try some premium loose leaf green tea, it would really mean a lot to us if you could browse our selection at neoteas.com. After traveling around Japan for the past few years, we've met with dozens of farmers and sampled hundreds of different types of teas. We've ultimately compiled a list of our favorites, and we're so happy to share them with all of you, with free shipping worldwide. If you need the tools to prepare the teas, you can also pick up a clay Q-Suit teapot. This is the best tool when it comes to preparing loose leaf Japanese green tea. Thank you all so much for watching this video. We'll see you next time.